Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another study of the book Courage by several spirit authors through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. What a blessing to be here with you. Gratitude to the listeners, to the viewers, to the mentors of both Kardec Radio and the Spirit Society of Richmond, and of course to Chico Xavier, Emmanuel, Bezerra de Menezes, Albino Teixeira, and many others who are in this book. Every week we study one of the chapters of the book, and today is chapter 29. This message is by the Spirit Emmanuel, and he titled his message Jesus and the World. Let's see what Emmanuel has in store for us today. Quote, if Jesus did not have confidence in humankind's renewal and in the world's improvement, naturally, he would not have come to meet people, nor would he have walked through the dark days on earth. However, we should not discourage nor lose hope under the small and blessed struggles that heaven has given us amongst the darkness of human experiences. Many sublime spirits have left the school of this world, graduated in sanctification, and today they are blessed benefactors of human evolution. Therefore, we should not take earth for granted, as it has been providing teachings that nourish, shelter, educate, and perfect us. Let's unquote for now. There's a few more paragraphs to undo. So when we look around, and that's a question that I get frequently here, is but there's so much darkness. Yes, our eyes are trained to find errors and problems and focus on the negative, especially when we think about the ways we consume what we call news or information from around the world. We see what is the dark side of our days, right? We're not in heaven. This is not a joyful divine world where there's no wars, there's no selfishness, there's no pride, um, there's still a lot of things we have to work on. But there's a lot of good that happens around ourselves that it goes unnoticed. I'll give you an example. Was the last time any news outlet broadcasted your Spirit Center's volunteer opportunities, for example? We were at the Spirit here at SSR. We were at an assisted living facility this weekend. Nobody, but you now know. I'm not saying this to boast ourselves, but to give an example of the billions of spirits in, or incarnate beings who are doing the work of goodness every day. And we have Christ as our guide and as our model. And he had confidence in our renewal and in the world improvement. And Emmanuel is telling us that if that was not the case, he would not have had walked through the dark days on the earth. In a much more difficult time on the earth to exist as a human being, right? In a system of oppression, in a land that was in difficult times as much as it has difficult times today. So when we look around and see the struggles that many of us experience, if we are in a comfortable position, such, I live in a comfortable position, so may you. There might be struggles that are not visible to others but are internal. And Emmanuel says, we should not discourage nor lose hope. So if today we're discouraged or losing hope, here is Emmanuel. Because these are small and blessed struggles that heaven has given us amongst the darkness of human experiences. Struggles work like the chisel works in a stone for a sculpture, like the hammer and the nail in a piece of wood as a saw. It works on building our character and resilience and teaching us. Pain is a teacher. And he says, many sublime spirits have left the school of this world, graduated in sanctification into their blessed benefactors of human evolution. How many spirits, dear friend, that today help you, help your family, they help your community. They are blessing, for example, about a mile from where I am, there's a library. I bet there are sublime spirits inside the library, helping the librarians, helping the patrons, helping organize knowledge and continued activities for learning and improvement. Blessed spirits who guide our mayors, our cities, who guides the roads, who care for the animals, who care for nature and the plants, who inspires scientists to bring up knowledge and medicine and cures and techniques. So much goes behind the scenes while we are so focused on ourselves and our own struggles. Many spirits that came before us graduated and now are our benefactors. If Jesus believes in us, why can't we believe in ourselves, right? So he's going to continue this message by saying, if a good person does not help a bad one, then life's improvement will be in vain. If a bad person is left without an opportunity to improve him or herself, then fraternity will be a mere illusion. If a wise man does not teach an ignorant person, then education could be at risk. If a humble person avoid the proud one, then love will be a useless word. If a kind person despises an impulsive one, then unbalance would prevail over life. If a virtuous person does not assist the victims of viciousness, and if goodness is not utilized to rescue those who are enveloped by evil, then the evangelical teachings from divine providence in the field of work would be useless. The Master was not from this world, but came to us for the world's redemption. He knew that, morally speaking, his disciples did not belong to earth either. Nevertheless, he sent them to live amongst men, so that men, or humans, may transform themselves onto devoted workers of goodness, thus turning earth into his planet of light. A Christian who avoids contact with the world under the pretext of being safe against sin is, in fact, a parasitic and unproductive flower on the tree of the gospel. Moreover, the Lord does not expect to flourish for his work, but expects to have faithful and devoted workers who wish to work the soil with patience, goodwill, and courage, so that earth can be prepared to become a regenerated world for the great tomorrow. Unquote. Wow. Here is Emmanuel, precise, concise, strong, but loving. So he gives us examples. Sometimes we think we're wise, but we don't teach those who don't know. We call ourselves humble, but we avoid the proud ones. We think we are good persons, but we don't help what we call bad ones. We want to be kind, but then we despise those who are impulsive. If we don't use goodness to rescue those who are enveloped by evil, then the evangelical teachings are to be useless. And this last paragraph is what I'm going to emphasize. He says, a Christian, that's you and I. If you're a spiritist, you are a Christian who avoids contacts with the world. Some there is a message in the Spiritist, the newest issue of the Spiritist magazine, which we study every Tuesday evening, that talks about the strategies of the darkness to break apart Spiritist organizations. Let's put it this way. And one of their strategies to make us grand, think we're grandeur, think we're better than everybody else, that we are saints, that we do everything right. No, spiritists are people, are humans just like everybody else. And we are in the world of trials and expiations. It's characterized, the majority of us are imperfect spirits, where matter still matters more than spirit. So sometimes we're like, oh, I'm too good to do this. He's saying if a Christian who avoids contact with the world under the pretext of being safe against sin is like a parasite, an unproductive flower on the tree of gospel. So we know of all of these. But then I don't want to do things with the pretext that I'm going against you. So if I am really truly kind, honest, virtuous, humble, and when I go into the world and I can hold myself in that kind of behavior, my actions are not congruent with this behavior, then I'm unproductive flower. He used the word parasitic, which is from parasite. What do parasites do? Parasites use the resources of another organism to survive without doing anything. That's usually where vampire spirits are. So a parasite inside your body is just consuming the nutrients that you have without giving you anything, just being there. And we don't want to be a parasite or an unproductive flower on the tree of the gospel, because Jesus came, and as Emmanuel says in the beginning, if he did not have confidence in the renewal, in the world's improvement, he would not have come. So if he came, he knows we can. Yes, we can. And we want to know of the gospel, but we want to apply the gospel, which is harder. Knowing is easier, because if you look above me here, I have the gospel according to Spiritism, and I have a regular Bible. I can just go read and memorize everything. But getting to the point where I see the teachings and how they pertain to my life and how I can grow, that's harder. He says, the Lord does not expect to flourish for his work, but expects what from you and I? Faithful and devoted workers. And Emmanuel explains more, who wish to work the soil with patience, goodwill, and courage. Courage. Courage to fight against the current mentality of you only live once, of the physical senses. Courage to say, I'm going to spend time doing this for the good. I'm going to work the soil. Who is the soil? The soil is us. For that seed of the gospel to grow inside of ourselves. The soil is the environment where we are, where we have to sow the seed. We want to be the receptive soil and help others be the receptive soil with the nutrients to thrive and nourish. When we as a society emphasize the physical and experience, activity, and we forget that there is others right next to us who are suffering, physically speaking, suffering with lack of everything that is of comfort, but also the spirit friends who are around us. How many spiritist centers are in the world to help those who have discarnated and have no idea? Not very many compared to everything else there is in the world. So, friends, we want to be faithful and devoted workers, because that's what Jesus expects of us. And as faithful and devoted workers, we want to work the soil with patience, goodwill, and courage. So and that's the Emmanuel telling us what happens if we do so. Earth can be prepared to become a regenerated world for the great tomorrow. Right now, we are under planetary transition. And all of the books of the superior spirits tell us this is the moment of attunement. So as Earth evolves, when we go from being this selfish us that only thinks about me, my development, my career, my family, my kids, my community, to us, when I take so much, when we're parasites of the world, we're taking, 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 and feel entitled to it, there's others who are unbalanced somewhere else who don't have. So we need to be able to see ourselves as part of the community to be able to live this love society. And part of being one of the components of this community is to be here today, this morning, listening, because this usually goes live first in the morning. But if you're watching this on demand, that's fine too. Where you see yourself as part of Cardiac Radio, as part of your spirit center, wherever you are in the world, where your heart opens to listen to the intuition and the call of the Christ to leave everything behind and go follow Him, so that we can create this better community together, where we can leave the old human behind and birth the new us that is of service, patience, and goodwill. So we can help Earth progress and not do what we did in previous life, which is possibly just take, take, take. Now we come here to give back. How can I give back? How can I have less? How can I demand less? How can I be more productive? How can I give back to my community? Because the less you have to manage, how comfortable can we be doing a series of decluttering and a minimalist or essentialist views where I have enough? How can I give some of that away to some people who don't have? Physically, there's people hungry, cold, unhoused, right? But also, how can I nourish myself so that I have this mindset of abundance? Divine providence is providing for us each and every day. So much so that brought us this book. So, how are we absorbing those nutrients and nourishing ourselves and our souls so that we can be content and be like, I have enough. I am enough. I can and will work on behalf of the Christ within the circle of influence that I have, and I'll be an instrument of God's will on the earth. But it takes courage. It takes courage. So today, the challenge for you and I is, how are we going to be part of the legions of workers of Christ, where we can help one more person each and every day? Be courageous. Be courageous. 2024 is to be courageous. Dear friends, what a blessing to be here today. God willing, I'll be back with you next week with another study of the book Courage. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and I will hope to see you soon. Bye bye.